This lecture is about the DISC personality inventory. So you might ask me, why do I need to know about my personality? Why is this important to me as a leader and a manager? So, why is this important to you as a leader and a manager? How can you use knowing yourself to add value to your organization? So recall our lecture earlier on leadership, and particularly the article What Makes a Leader in Harvard Business Review by Daniel Goleman. Just a little review here. Remember that Goleman found that the qualities traditionally associated with leadership, intelligence, toughness, determination, and vision, they're required, but they're insufficient for success. What really distinguishes great leaders from good leaders is emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is the single quality which is found in all very successful leaders. Recall Goleman's 5 components of emotional intelligence at work that was in his article on what makes a leader. The first component is self-awareness, and self-awareness should be self-evident as a key component of knowing thyself. To know thyself, you first need to do some sort of formal assessment. That's the DISC inventory that we're going to be doing. So, self-awareness, the ability to recognize and understand your moods, emotions, and drives, as well as their effect on others. The second component is self-regulation. And again, think of this as understanding yourself. What are your hot buttons? What sets you off? And the importance of controlling those emotions and understanding the negative effect in the workplace that those emotions have on others. So one's ability to regulate those outbursts, those emotions, and be calm in the face of disasters and conflict and bad news is a very, very important quality of good leaders. The first 3 components, self-awareness, self-regulation, and motivation, are internal qualities. But motivation is important both internally and externally. So motivation means your ability to understand what really drives you and translate that into an understanding of what motivates others. And so a very successful leader has a very strong drive to achieve, and importantly, optimism even in the face of failure. The next 2 components, empathy and social skill, are external rather than internal. So think of this as 2 sides of the coin. In the DISC assessment, you will understand more about yourself and what makes you tick, but probably most importantly, you'll also understand what makes others tick. So empathy is the ability to understand the makeup of other people and to be able to treat people according to their emotional reactions. This is really essential in terms of effective teamwork, and even in things that sometimes we don't think of as empathy, in understanding other cultures and the importance of being sensitive to other people's perspectives. So as Goleman said, the most important of the 5 components and the culmination of the 5 components is social skill. And again, that is an external skill. It's the proficiency in managing relationships, building networks, finding common ground, and building rapport among others. This really comes to the forefront in a leader's expertise in building and leading teams. So in review, Goleman sets out the reasons in his 5 components of emotional intelligence that we need to know ourselves through the DISC assessment and also to know others. Over 2,000 years ago, Chinese General Sun Tzu, the author of The Art of War, said that a general who understands himself and understands his army and who understands his enemy will win in 100 battles, will never be defeated, will win all 100. Whereas the general who understands himself but fails to understand his enemy will lose some and win some. And finally, the general who neither understands himself and his army, his strengths and weaknesses, nor understands his enemy, will put his army in extreme jeopardy, and in 100 battles he will lose all 100. So relating Sun Tzu to Goldman, if you understand the behavior of those around you and you understand your own behavior, you will avoid hundreds of conflicts. If you do not understand others, but you do know yourself, you will avoid some conflicts, but you will get embroiled in others. And finally, the leader or manager who neither understands himself nor understands those with whom he works will find himself in constant conflict and never being able to effectively lead and motivate teams to add value to their organization.